Welcome to Legend Makers, the podcast where education's true heroes take center stage. All right, we are back with another episode of the Legend Makers podcast. I have with me today the man with probably the coolest name, Todd LaVogue. How you doing, Todd?
I'm doing well, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Listen, I've got your little bio right here. I want to read a little bit of it because you got some cool stuff going on here, and then we'll just jump right in. It says here you're an award-winning educator from Palm Beach County, so you're down there in Palm Beach County, Florida. You're recognized as one of Microsoft's 15 most innovative and inspiring educators in America, so you're going to tell us about that. You're a TED Ed innovative educator. You've presented on the TED Ed stage and collaborated with teachers around the world. Your classroom project, this is interesting. So Write a Letter, Save a Life was honored on the floor of Congress and entered into the U.S. congressional record. So you advise the King of Spain on education and work with the Japanese Ministry of Education through Learn for Japan. Most recently, you won a $50,000 STEM classroom makeover. Is that what we're seeing back here?
Well, we see a lot of student work behind me.
Okay, cool. But that's the room that got the makeover?
Yes. It's
awesome.
This room.
And that was a grant from Florida Power and Light and Nextra Energy.
Yep.
Next Era Energy. So excellent. Todd, you got a lot going on. Welcome to the pod. Let's get right into it. Tell me about this. Let's go Write a Letter, Save a Life. What was that all about? I mean, I looked it up, but tell people.
Yeah, no. So it was just a project I was doing every year at a middle school I was at forever ago. And it was, we were looking at people who we found that were like, we felt were unjustly imprisoned, whether they were on death row or some people were political prisoners in their countries. And then what we do is we wrote a bunch of letters and then got other people to write letters. It was through Amnesty International.
Yeah, sure.
So, and then I just did it every year, like in the fall, and it was kind of like towards the beginning of the school year, and it helped kids understand that writing is important, and gave them like, we're not just going to write a 5-paragraph essay on, whatever, the weather, but this is like really important, like
purpose.
Potentially helping people, helping save lives. And as far as we knew, I'd say I did it about 10 years. At my other school, and we were able to document two times when two of the people we wrote letters about were freed.
Really?
So one guy was on death row in Missouri, and he had a stay of execution canceled while they reinvestigated the case.
Wow! One of your students wrote that letter?
Well, we all wrote the letters.
All wrote it together, right?
Every year we'd pick 2 or 3 people that we wanted to. Like I went through and kind of put together, say, a dozen stories from people around the world that I felt might have more to their story than what's being told. And then we researched all of them. And the kids voted on 2 or 3 a year.
Huh.
And it was a lady in Myanmar and who ran for president of her country and won. And then the general she was running against put her in house arrest.
You're kidding.
And took over the country. So we wrote on her behalf, and she was released from, not just from our letters, but from millions of letters.
But from millions of letters, but you were part of the cause. The students got to be part of that cause.
Yeah, right. Then a local congressman representing our district, heard about the story because my principal was promoting it.
Sure.
And heard about the story, and then you get like 3 to 5 minutes on the floor of Congress once every week to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about if you're a congressman. So he used his floor time to officially enter into congressional record the work that was being done by the students in my classroom.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So, and then they came and presented us with, like, I got at home, I've got like the official congressional record in a frame and his actual, the transcript of his actual like 4-minute speech on the floor of Congress, entering it in.
Impressive.
So it was really cool.
Students had to feel really cool about that too.
Oh yeah, they went nuts. Like again,
I'm sure.
let them know that like, and again, this was a really this school was inner city,
Hmm.
right? A lot of kids felt like nothing they did really made, was really being
A
heard by
difference.
anybody,
Sure.
like making a difference, that things were always just going to be the way it was. And I told them we can change things. We just
And you
have to
proved
like,
it.
right. We could just, if we focus on a mission, we can make a little bit of change here and there.
Absolutely. Small, seemingly small things can have huge impact.
Right.
Right.
So
It's like that water that drips
yeah,
incessantly can carve valleys. Right. So it's really cool that you got your students to be able to participate in something and actually watch their effort result in this person's life being saved.
absolutely. And it was
Amazing.
something they looked forward to. And then as I taught their brothers and sisters years later, they were, I'd have little kids, I'd have, sixth graders come in saying, "Hey, you taught my sister 5 years ago. She told me that make sure I do the letter writing."
And what I think is so cool about that is it shows them the power of communication and how to be an effective communicator and how words can mean something, right? In other words, their words written out of their heart and their minds actually matter. I'm a huge writer. I love writing, right? I'm a reader, so I love stories. I love storytelling. But I think words are super powerful, and that there's this idea that if you can channel that, your actual words that you put down on paper had an impact. That's got to
It's
be
pretty
huge for
powerful.
them. It is
Yeah.
extremely powerful.
Yeah, and when a 6-year-old, a 6-year-old, I mean sixth grader, I mean, could
Yeah.
could um could see that realization, like, whoa, that really worked.
And how
Like,
long ago was this?
let's see, at least 15 years ago, because
Okay.
that was 2 schools ago.
Do you ever have do you ever have any of those students come back? Do you ever meet your old students and talk about, then they say, "Hey, remember we did that thing and I became like a." Do you have any cool stories like that?
Well, that same school, the kids that did those letter writing, I was teaching history at the time too,
Hmm.
and I taught ancient world civilizations, and we used to, and I realized at this school that were kids, I had homeless kids, I had hungry kids,
Mm,
it was like, what happened in Egypt or Mesopotamia, like just it seemed meaningless to me. Like
right.
why do they, like almost like why do they, like they're not going to be interested in this. They're just trying to, like, people are hungry. Like they, so I was trying to figure out what can I do that makes it more interesting. So I started making rap videos about every ancient history with my students, not me making them, but I'd have
Yeah.
my
I was gonna
students
say
make
I want to
them.
see those. Can we see them?
Well, they're on YouTube
Are
because
they?
my
We'll go.
students,
Oh, we're gonna link to those. Okay.
so
All right.
my students, and I would make a cameo in them, but my students would make these. So when you're talking about former students back then, no, I don't get a lot that mention. I do keep in touch with a few, but the ones I run into will tell me, "Hey, Mr. LaVogue, our video on the Fertile Crescent has over 100,000 views on YouTube."
So cool.
Like, it's
So I'm going to link
nuts.
to some of those. We
Yeah,
definitely have to link to some of those in the pod because I'm sure people are going to want to see those. You've got
yeah.
views, hundreds of thousands of views on some of those things, huh?
At least one of them. We
What's
have
the channel? Is it your YouTube channel?
No, this one was on. I'll send you the link.
Yeah. Okay.
It was through a cultural foundation of Palm Beach County. They gave
Yeah.
me
Okay.
some money.
Yeah.
Remember when they used to have the flip video cameras?
Oh, yes.
All right, so the little thing with the USB would flip out. So I made my rap videos on those
On the
flip
flip.
video cameras.
I think I know I had a flip video. They were cool before the iPhone.
Yeah, the
They were
cultural
right
foundation.
before the
Right. Oh
iPhone. They
yeah,
kind of got killed, but they were a great little tool and they got eaten up by the iPhone like 2 years later,
absolutely.
right? Yeah.
So I was given one through this cultural foundation of Palm Beach County because I was working at this Title I school. They were trying to figure out ways to help me engage kids, and
Nice.
so I started for every topic, whether it was China or Mesopotamia or Egypt. We would end the unit by making a music video
Nice.
about the
Very
unit, and
cool.
so that's when I run into
That is
kids.
cool.
They ask me
They
about
tell you
that.
about that. Is that how you become one of Microsoft's 15 most innovative and inspiring? I mean, so tell me about this award winning. You've got so much going on. So is
Yeah.
those are the kinds of things that get you recognized because you're having an
Yeah.
impact. You're doing something
Yeah,
different.
so somebody again, somebody at my district said, "Hey, Microsoft has this contest um, where they are looking for like the most inspiring educators in America, and
Hmm.
you've been selected to go to Seattle, to Microsoft's home offices, which are outside of Seattle. And so I show up there with the music videos as my project that I was picked to present. And I was one of 75 teachers they picked.
Wow.
And my wife went with me, and she couldn't attend the event on campus. So I would tell her a little bit about it. And then at the end of the week, they I wasn't aware what was going to happen. I didn't know. Maybe they had explained it and I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. But at the end, I won. My project was picked as the best one. And then I was told, I'd be going to Prague in the Czech Republic to
Yeah.
represent the United States, in the Global Education Forum in the Czech Republic.
You're
So
kidding.
yeah, it was nuts. So then
Nice.
I had to call my wife and I told her, I said, I won. And she goes, "That's fantastic. What'd you get?" I'm like, "We're going to the Czech Republic." Like,
Ah,
so,
how, and you
so
went.
yeah, so I went and I finished third
Ah,
in the
really, really
world.
great. How many?
Like,
Third out of how many?
well, originally Microsoft told me there were 260,000 entries.
Hey, wow.
So it went from 260,000 worldwide to 1,000 teachers invited to Prague to me finishing third.
Amazing. So there's something there then. So we're talking to a very special individual that's actually having an impact in their classroom and making, because this is, you just don't, that doesn't just happen, right? So
Right.
what do you attribute that to? I'm a big fan of like destiny and this and going after your, like, where do you, well, let's back up just a little bit, because this is really interesting. I want to dig into this. Why did you start teaching in the first place? Like, what got you into teaching?
My wife's a teacher. I've been with my wife for 35 years. We've been married
Okay.
over 30.
Okay.
And I wasn't initially in teaching when she was. I
Hmm.
was teaching, but I was more like doing adults training at a corporation.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was doing a training, but it
Right.
was not kids.
Right.
And my wife's stories always sounded better than mine when we both
What's
came
your
home
wife?
from work. And
Well, yeah.
and everyone had always told me that I should be working with kids, and because I relate more to kids than to adults. And so um, I did. So I switched, and it was with my
Hmm.
wife's help. She's I always say, and it even says on my Twitter X bio that I'm the second best teacher in my house, because it's true. She's
She's good, huh?
ridiculously talented. She's retired, but she's
Okay.
ridiculously talented and helps me daily when I have
Hmm.
questions, or just to run ideas by her. But
Yeah.
so yeah, so she's the reason I got into teaching, but I felt like it should have been something, according to my friends and family who've known me forever, it's something I should always have been doing.
It's kind of just been in your DNA.
Yeah.
And you were
And
doing
it's,
adult learning
yeah,
but you realized that you had to go down and you really wanted to make more of an impact on the kids. And sounds like you're doing a hell of a job doing it.
thank
So
you. I'm ridiculously passionate about it. So I
cool.
think that's where the success comes because I'm just insanely passionate and I think about it 24/7.
So why? What drives that passion? I guess that's what I'm curious. Trying to understand like what makes you tick, right? Like what
Right.
is it that and I always as we were talking just before the podcast, like I was that challenged kid, right? I was the one that was disruptive in the classrooms. I mean, I got sent away when I was like 14. I was just terrible. I was an angry bully, kind of a, you would never know it today knowing me, I hope. But yeah, what that's hard. Teaching's hard. Like there's certain kids that you got to love and there's certain kids that are challenging. But what drives you? What's the passion? Where does that come from?
Yeah, I think it's just trying to like I was brought up in a very like, rigid formal education and it was
Mm-hmm.
boring.
Yeah.
It was just, but that was just the way everyone was. And I just remember thinking, I'm going to do things differently. And I remember initially being told like, that's not going to be possible. You
Hmm.
just got to follow like the guidelines and, it's public education and you can only do so much. And I
Hmm.
just kept like, no, we could make it more interesting. Like, again, why, nobody's going to remember a worksheet, right? But they know they remember the music videos, and the letter writing. you know,
Absolutely.
and the same thing, with everything that we do is just like if I could make learning a little more fun, then that's really my goal.
So, so rap videos, letters, what other kinds of things do you do that your kids love? Like, what are some of your standouts that they just do you win them
Well,
over every time?
I'm a sneaker geek, so
Are you? Okay.
I have way too many shoes. And so I love sneakers. So what I started to do a few years ago, and we've probably done it 3 or 4 times, where well, at my school we're a project-based learning school. So we'll get a
Hmm.
topic, and there'll be one class where all we do is just investigate that topic for a semester,
Great.
and it really becomes whatever I want it to be, and
Hmm.
whatever directions the kids take it. So and then we have a public exhibition, like a final exam.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Perfect.
we
Love
get
it.
this public exhibition of our learning. We invite the community, local, from fire, police, local commissioners, everyone comes and families, friends, and we have to present something to share our knowledge. And I've done sneaker projects with kids over the years where I'll get 50, 60 pairs of white sneakers, like Vans, white slip-on Vans. And they'll have a topic that's part of a larger topic. And they'll they'll tell the story of their topic through the custom designed sneakers.
Custom design sneakers.
And
Cool. Now, what
so,
happened to those sneakers when they're done?
oh, we keep most of them here in school.
You
Some
do.
of them have gone to like other places to be put on display.
Nice. Is
And
that a
then
pair back there
yeah,
over
so
your left
can I
shoulder?
show you?
Oh, please, by all
So
means. That's
so
that's
we have
great.
So we have you'll see some examples here as I go
Yeah.
over here. Um
Yeah. There you go,
like
right there.
like we were
Nice.
this was a project called Neighbors, and we picked the neighbor we decided to focus on were the Taino people of the Bahamas. So
Oh,
all
because
of
you're down
these
there in Palm Beach. Yeah.
so all of these shoes,
Huh.
all of these shoes and tell a story. Each one's a chapter. We had like 15 chapters in our story. And
Oh.
each one told a story. So you would go to chapter one and you'd look at a pair of shoes. You'd look at a pair of shoes, and they would tell you this one was telling you the story of agriculture and yeah, a story of their food and agriculture. Yeah. So and then you'd have a story here was their creation story, and this
Huh.
sneaker told the story of myths and their how the Tayano came to be. So I do a lot of yeah, and we've had other topics. We did Harlem Renaissance,
Yeah.
and that was really cool. That was like if you look at these
Amazing. Those are the work is amazing.
oh,
Like
they're so good,
it's they look incredible.
right?
Like, do people ever want to just wear them? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I started making them. I started ordering them in my size, so I could wear them. Like this one right here for the
yeah.
Harlem
So
Renaissance.
you
This is
can wear them.
amazing.
No, it's amazing. Like that's all hand painted right on there. Yeah.
All kids just all they did was take pencils and draw on there what they wanted, and then we have fabric markers.
And then they just colored them with fabric markers.
Yeah, but then we I don't know if you could see here.
Yeah.
This is another project, but we use lasers and we created puzzles.
Oh, yeah.
We
So you
created
carve out.
puzzles with lasers that told stories of allies. So
Holy mackerel.
like if and like you could see these puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
And if you connected if you did let me see if I could show you without knocking the puzzle over. Sorry, it's kind of
No, this is
a
cool.
little
This is neat. Oh, wow.
so
So
you could
you have to put the whole puzzle together, and that's what you end up getting. Is
yeah,
that a
and then you
live
get
QR code? Does that
yeah,
actually
live QR
work?
codes that we can go help our local Haitian and Hispanic communities.
That's amazing.
That project was called Allies. So the other one
That's
was called
incredible.
Neighbors. This one was Allies
Amazing.
that I just showed you there. But yeah, so I try to come up with a very unique way to
What's this big brick structure over here
oh,
behind you?
so we had bridges,
I'm coming to
um,
your class. This is
and then
cool.
while while we were learning about this big chateau here is a chateau in France where Leonardo da Vinci actually passed away. While we were
Oh,
learning about
oh,
Leonardo da Vinci, we decided to build a chateau in France that he lived in. and that's cardboard and tissue paper. And we built the entire chateau. It's about 4.5 feet long and
Yeah.
2.5 feet wide. It's pretty big.
It's pretty awesome. And
But
what grade is this that you're working with here?
sixth, seventh, and eighth.
Sixth, seventh, and eighth.
We
Okay.
made these custom bags when we were learning about that was our project called Talking Walls. And we all that 3D printing, everything the kids did.
Wow. This is
So
amazing.
yeah, so thank you. It's better than worksheets.
It's ridiculously better than worksheets. What you're doing there is incredible. And then
Oh,
this
thanks.
big apple tree, is that
Oh yeah, so we had a project called Witness Trees,
uh-huh.
where we found about 30 trees in the world that actually witnessed something very historic. And so we told the story through the trees, while we learned about geography, history, math,
Yeah.
science, the botany of the tree.
That's
So for
amazing. Do you
instance,
know what that
like
reminds me of? Remember
what's that?
do you remember that book by Shell? Was it The Giving Tree?
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
that book. That was like
yeah.
one of my
So like
favorite books as a kid. I don't know why. It's just a really great book. There it is, right there.
so that tree
That
is the
tree.
apple tree that was in Isaac Newton's parents' backyard.
There it is. That's
Yeah.
Isaac Newton's apple tree. I mean, your students are incredibly talented. This stuff does not look like it looks amazingly well done. Like
A lot of trial and error.
uh, yes. So we're seeing the finished product,
Yeah, a lot of
but a
trial and
lot
error.
of iteration goes into this,
Oh,
right?
that's iteration is I got in the back of the room back there is a makerspace that's really big. It's about the size. I've this used to be the media center for our whole school. This used to be
Yeah.
this used to
So,
be the media center for the entire school. And
and so
now it's
what
my
class is it?
classroom.
I'm sorry. And so what class is this?
I just I again I teach two electives, one
Uh-huh.
called game design and
Game designer.
one called robotics, and then I teach two project-based learning classes. So basically, I have the ability to teach what I really teach what I want.
Incredible. Wow. Incredible. Yeah, that was a great tour of your classroom, by the way. Thank you. Did you lose video feed on me?
I did.
I know it happened earlier, but here's the thing. I can see you and
Okay.
we can see you and your classroom we
Okay.
can see. So if you want to keep going, we're good because
Yeah,
I've
let's
got video
go.
feed here in so boy, I'm kind of at a loss of where to go because I'm overwhelmed with how cool what we just saw was. So now I know why you advised the King of Spain. So tell me about the King of Spain.
Yeah, that was wild. Again, like in a series of wild moments in education that I never knew would be possible. Microsoft invited me after the success in the Czech Republic. I was invited to both Barcelona and Budapest
Eh,
to represent the United States in other events a few years later.
okay.
Well, one of them was while I was in Barcelona. It's a week-long event. On a Monday, I was setting up my latest project there to talk about, and a bunch of guys came over to me in suits and said, "Hey, on Friday, um, um, his you got a chance, so we'd like you to talk to the actually at the time he was the Crown Prince, so
Okay.
Crown Prince Philippe the Sixth. So his
Uh-huh.
father had abdicated the throne, but but Philippe hadn't officially been sworn in as king.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a gray area. But he is the king of Spain now. So I met with him on a Friday. It was again about 1,000 teachers there, but in the room there were only three. It was
Oh,
me, who was the only teacher in the room. Then there was a principal from Finland and a superintendent from Chile.
hmm.
And he asked us all like questions and he took notes. He asked about education and
Uh,
and our best practices. He was really nice, and
that's great.
it was very intimidating at the same time.
Oh, bad.
But he went to Georgetown University.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
he's American sounding as anybody I know.
There you
So
go.
he was easy to talk to, but we did
That's
have to
wild.
follow a lot of protocol.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's great. That's wow. So King of Spain all the way through the Japanese Ministry of Education.
Yeah.
So
So
learn through
yeah,
Japan.
yeah. So I met a guy. I got during the week, the Microsoft like pairs you up with other teachers just to get you working and talking to teachers from other countries. So I
Yeah.
got one of the
Okay.
people I got paired up with was a Japanese teacher, and he liked all my ideas. So he said, when I get back home, could I reach out to you? And we ended up creating some curriculum that he then
Hmm.
brought forth to his bosses at the ministry, at the Ministry of Education,
Yeah.
um, and they adopted the tech curriculum for middle schools in a portion of Japan as a test as a test. So yeah, so it's just the connections. One thing like led to another.
As they do. Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. And
It's
then
great.
you wind up meeting a lot of people at these events that are around the world that you then wind up connecting with for various reasons. I
So
ended up
cool.
working on a project with a teacher from Finland while I was in my classroom in Palm Beach Gardens and his classroom in Oulu, Finland, and we worked on a project together.
Were the students involved in that
Yeah, my
project?
students were involved in the project.
So
We
we were
were
doing it through video?
yeah, we would leave each other. The time difference was pretty extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but we were leaving each other like video notes through it was called Yammer.
Yammer.
So
Yeah.
Yammer was going to be like a format, a platform that would challenge Facebook, but
Hmm.
Microsoft ended up buying Yammer and making it like their internal way of talking to each other.
Interesting.
And so since we both were Microsoft teachers,
Mm-hmm.
they let us use Yammer and we communicated and posted things back. So it's like posting things back and forth on Facebook.
Yeah, it is. And the kids could then come in the next day and they'd be greeted with a
Yeah,
new message from the other class that they were
right, right.
interacting with.
This is where we left off on the project.
It's kind
So
of
why
fun.
don't you start there?
That sounds fun.
It was
That sounds
cool.
great. I bet you kids look forward to it, right? They're like,
Yeah,
they're
it-
international colleagues, right?
yeah. And it was just something again, in that quest for something different. It was something
Yeah.
different.
That's awesome. I love the something different. Let's do this for a minute. I'm going to pause for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, we're right back here. We had a little technical glitch there, but so Todd, you were just talking about connections, and I think connections are important. So it goes to show you how these little seemingly small things, you connect the dots. Steve Jobs has that great quote: "You can never connect the dots looking forward, only backwards." And so, just your job should just be to try to accumulate dots, right? Because they all lead somewhere, right? Meeting people, you and I having this conversation, you never know where this ends up and
Sure.
who it might meet and who sees this podcast and they do another thing. So part of the thing with this, so wait, let's get back to this. So we just saw, you can't let it slip by because I could see it there behind you. And when you were walking around the side, I saw a cage, and I know what a cage means. We don't always use them in our program. Some do, some don't, but you've got a drone arena back there.
I certainly do.
What are you doing with drones?
Right now we're just kind of it's helping us with some coding. Like we're doing some
Oop, we
basic
froze.
code.
Go. All right. So what are you doing with drones?
Yeah, so we're doing some basic programming and coding. We're also
Cool.
we're just for most of them, my kids, they've never flown a drone. So just
Yeah.
having a controller and actually flying it
Yeah.
is a
It's
lot for
awesome.
them right now too. We've also made our own obstacles
Yeah,
with
sure.
PVC pipe and pool noodles.
Wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
and some cardboard boxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and the arena kind of keeps a dedicated space
Sure. Sure. They don't
for
go flying all over the place.
and
Right.
again having a classroom that's the size of a school media center. It's 3,500 square feet.
It's great.
So
It's
I
great.
have the room.
You have the room for sure. You sure do. It's amazing. Tell me, so I like to think about like who we're talking to right now, right? So yeah, we're having this conversation that hopefully a lot of teachers are listening to this. And I like to think that a lot of maybe younger or people that are considering getting into teaching, this is who we're trying to talk to, right? We're trying to reach out to them, let them hear about, because it's you don't know until you see something like this what's possible. right? And so when you're thinking about like, I keep hearing this teacher shortage, right? There's a teacher shortage, and it doesn't surprise me. I understand that there's a lot that goes into it. It's a challenging job. It can be sometimes, you know, let's put it this way: it's not the glam job that people want the glam, they want the glitz and the thing, but it's a purpose driven profession, right? It's probably the most noble profession in the world. You teach the kids that learn everything to go off and work in the world, right? So what would you say to somebody that's like thinking about entering into the profession or is just entered in there, kind of like, what am I going to do? What am I going? What's your advice?
Yeah, just find something, like find like a channel of personal passion, things that you're really interested in, and then try to introduce those into the classroom, because the kids, when they hear how, if you're like, say, my sneakers, right? I'm excited about the sneakers. So
Yeah.
when I talk about a project that involves sneakers, I'm excited. And
Yeah.
that excitement, I think, is contagious. Um, I had a chance to visit a series of schools in San Diego called High Tech High.
Okay.
It's a series of schools in San Diego, and one of the things they do for their electives in High Tech High is let the teachers teach whatever it is they like.
Right.
So a guy likes to make canoes, so they have a canoe making class.
Right.
Right? I mean, and and so that's my advice to the young people would be like, not to create a canoe making class, but
But
introduce whatever it is you're excited about. There's a teacher that's viral because she loves the Miami Dolphins, and she's here in South Florida. And her elementary, like, I don't know, third grade, fourth grade class, all the math, all the reading, everything that goes on in that class is related to the Miami Dolphins because she's
yeah,
so excited about the Miami Dolphins.
the
Um,
kids get pumped, right?
so
Yeah.
yeah, so now the kids are excited about it because she's so excited about it. So like my advice would be like introduce the things you like. We've got two teachers at my school here that are big time Swifties. And there is definitely Swifty
Swift
introduction class in
Swift
terms of like,
mania. Yeah.
yeah, but in terms of like language, the lyrics and the tours, and there's math involved, and like what does
There's
it cost
business
to do
involved. It's a
this? Yeah,
huge business. Think about what it takes to put on one of those shows. Think about the
absolutely.
logistics. Think about all the different people that need to be coordinated and managed and produced and paid and getting materials from. I just went to a concert a little while ago and it was a huge stage system. And I remember looking at my wife and I went, and my brother-in-law he's a roadie, so he does like sound tech and things. And I'm like, look at what it took to put this up for this one night. And they
Right.
got to break it down, put it in trucks, and move it to the next location and do it all over again. And there's managers that manage the logistics of all that. There's people that put it together. There's sound techs. I mean, it's a huge business. So you right in that one example, you could probably pull from that 20 different career opportunities and pathways that one might not even consider. There's the finances of it, there's the marketing of it, right? There's the whole, I keep saying, logistics of it, there's the production, there's the sound, there's the makeup, there's the artistry, there's everything that goes along with it. Design, like who designs that stage?
Right. I mean, there's something for everyone, right? In that process. So like she's incorporating all that into her
That's
classroom
great.
here. And that's the kids come in telling me about it. You know how much it costs to do this or that, or they're doing math, and it's just
Yeah,
they know about it. And like you mentioned, just all the careers that are available that they don't think are available, like they just
right.
haven't heard of it yet.
And let me ask. So I guess the big question is, you're going, well, that's easy for you to say because your school lets you get away with that cool stuff. Like, what about my school that's just like, nope, go teach English, standardized tests, right? Go English teacher, science teacher. Do not. There's the guardrails. Don't bump into them.
Right.
I mean, that's a challenge. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I've been, through various hard work, determination, whatever the factors they are, luck, I've been able to create a lane, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've created this lane that has provided me with autonomy that's not typically known at a public school level.
And how did you do that?
Right. I just basically at a school, a prior school, I kind of invented a class. I just called it the innovation class. And I asked my principal to let me teach this as an elective. and
Okay.
it became one of the more popular classes at the school, and it was a large school. And so it got so much attention. Our superintendent came. And remember, this is like, we're the 10th largest school district in America. So your
Hmm.
superintendent just doesn't show up. Like
Right.
this,
Right.
our district's massive. You don't see a lot of these people at the district level. There's just too much to do. We have 200 schools, 200,000 kids.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
monstrous.
It is
So,
huge.
so he came to see what I was doing, and I and was really interested, asked a lot of questions about it, and I told him I just want to scale this. I want to make this bigger. We could teach all the subjects at one time in one class, and just whenever the day is we need to learn about math related to this topic, then that's the day we learn about math. And
Hmm.
we could still cover standards and get things done. So they let me kind of run with that. And then the former principal of this school that I'm currently at said, I'm fascinated by, she saw what I was doing through social media.
Yeah.
I'll let you do that all day long.
It is cool. So I got a couple. The business person in me wants to playbook this, right? So it wants to go. If somebody else wants to do this, what's the playbook?
Right.
So Todd LaVogue's system on getting this done, right? So here's what I did. Step one was boom. Step two was this. We want to walk through that because I think it's cool. And you're right. You've been able to carve your own lane. Let me ask you the second question. Maybe we'll talk about that in a minute. Now, there's a part two to this. Because as you're saying this, we can teach math through this. We can do this through this. So the day we have to learn math, and you said standards and alignment and standardized tests. Is there any evidence, whether it's anecdotal or quantitative, to suggest that what you're doing and others like you result in better test scores and better retention of the information, like just math and science, like learning it in the context of project-based learning?
Yeah, so my school, I'm not the only one in my school that does what I'm doing. The whole
Hmm.
school is a project-based learning school. So
Hmm.
it's filled with teachers who do very similar things to what I do.
Yeah.
Maybe not with everything, but we're an A-rated school, so it's working here. And I always use the kind of the idea that, like, let's think back at the music videos I made forever ago. Like there are songs. I grew up in the '80s. There are song lyrics that I certainly remember all the words of the song, right?
Sure.
40 years later, I remember the
Yeah.
words of the song.
Yeah.
So, in terms of retention
Yeah.
and understanding, like, if you can create things that are fun and easy for kids, or that kids are interested in, I think the retention is easy. Like the same way I can remember lines to a Beastie Boy song, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
That my kids would remember the lines for our Fertile Crescent songs, and
Yeah.
be able to retain that information.
Super cool. I just keep thinking to myself, there's somebody out there from, like, oh God, Trenton, don't, I'm not calling you out. I just live in Jersey, Trenton, New Jersey. They're like, yeah, but our schools, we're not a project-based learning school.
Right.
We can't get any of this done. I mean, I'm banging my head against the wall, blah, blah, blah. But
Right.
there's a way to do it. I mean,
Well,
like,
yeah,
what do you
start
recommend when
small.
somebody says that?
Yeah,
Start
start
small.
small. Like ask for like 1 hour a week to like be like a genius hour, or
Hmm.
an inquiry hour where like it's like time for them, or to like learn something, that one thing you want to teach them, that you're passionate or interested about.
Yeah.
And then see if, like, somebody, once you feel comfortable doing that, see if you can get somebody like an admin, one of the administrators, to sit in and see how, like, you're able, and then sneak in some standards that you've got to hit, that they know you have to hit, and like sneak some of that in while you're doing your thing,
Yeah.
and kind of show them that like the kids will be, I've got kids that are racing to get here to my classroom.
I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
racing to get to your classroom. It looks
well,
so cool. I
oh,
can't wait to
thanks.
get there.
And a lot of times people on a school tour are thinking of sending kids here. One of the things I'm told that they ask a lot is, how do I make sure I get my kid in that class?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Specifically talking about when they come through my room and they see what
I
we're
bet. I bet it's
they're
because
like,
it
this
makes
school's great, but how do I get my kid
it
in that?
into that great
Yeah.
class. So the key is start small,
Yeah.
find your elective, right?
Right.
Build it. And I think you said something when we first started, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you said that you have a showcase. So the
An
showcase,
exhibition. Yep.
an exhibition. So that's a great way to not only get parents in the community keyed in on what you're doing, but also administrators, superintendents, like show them, right? Show, don't tell. Like, let us see what you're doing and demonstrate that these kids are engaged in learning. They're not sitting there on their phones, heads buried. Their phones are down. They're making trees and they're painting sneakers and they're building, chalets
Chateaus.
and
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this is cool. And in it all, they're learning what they need to learn. And not only are they learning it, they're retaining it because it's interesting and it's connected to something that they're hands on and real world stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And open, and not that you're allowed to have your door open, but keep an open door policy. A lot of teachers want to close and lock the door, and they don't want people in their room while they're
Mm,
doing it. I want as many people to come through as possible. I want people to see what we're doing so that word gets out and that hopefully more people will want to do it. We have
absolutely.
teachers visit our school in the summer for workshops that are from other schools in other states. We've got some teachers coming down from North Carolina in like a month, spending some time here, just seeing what we're doing because they've heard about the work that our school does.
Huh.
So yeah,
You ever think of writing a book?
that's interesting. Yeah, my wife's always asking me about that.
You probably should. Like, I think you probably should. You got some really, I mean, I interview a lot of, I get the opportunity to speak with a lot of, and I am so lucky to talk to many people like yourself who are doing just incredible things in their room. I got to tell you though, what I'm looking at here is a feast for the eyes and the ears and the senses. There's a book in you, or there's something in you, because I think there's a playbook on how to get this done. This is with what's going on in it. Maybe we'll go there because, and what's going on in education today, I'd argue that this is what kids need, not just standardized math and science and English. Like, writing letters is English, right? Writing
Right.
letters to save lives is English, but it's not just standard
Oh yeah,
curriculum.
it's so much more.
And they're entering into a world that's so different
Right.
than anything anybody's ever seen ever. We don't know what it's going to look like next year. My gosh, I'm looking at Sora 2. I'm blown away. Like if as if Sora wasn't enough, the launch of Sora 2, OpenAI's new video edit,
Right.
it's insane. And it's kind of scary, but I argue that you need thinkers, critical thinkers, creative, um,
You hit
curious.
Yep, you've hit on two of the four that I do: critical thinking and creative. I also work. I work really hard to help them with collaboration and communication.
Yes. Like, how else are you going to survive in this world or thrive in this world? You'd be able to survive, but
Yeah.
thrive in this ever changing, rapidly changing. If you're curious and inquisitive and collaborative and all of those things, you'll be able to flow like water as these things change so fast, right? You kind of like be water, just go where it goes and don't be afraid of it. In fact, embrace it, which gets me to my next thing because I'm mindful of time and I want to get to this. You sound like an optimist to me. I am one. I like to look at the glass half full and through rose-colored glasses and all of that good stuff. What excites you about the future of your profession and education in general today?
Oh, I think there's so many possibilities. There's a lot of people that are trying, a lot of companies that are working to try to create products that, kids could learn those skills, those four C's that we just talked about, right? Right, the critical thinking, the creativity, communication, collaboration, right?
The four
There's so many
C's. Yep.
companies creating those opportunities for kids to learn those because I have no idea what jobs they're going to have. Most of
No,
my kids are going to probably have a job that doesn't even exist right now.
sure.
And it might even be to solve a problem that doesn't even exist right now. So how do I get a kid ready for that? You
That's
know,
right.
and
That's right.
that's by, helping them with those four C's. And we just started one of the new things we just started doing this year was I bought a bunch of bike parts from a company in Belgium, and we're
Okay.
actually building bikes. We just started bike number 2 today.
Really?
Yeah, so we're
What
building.
kind of bikes? Like
There's a company in Belgium called Infento.
Infento? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and they make modular bike kits. So the
Uh-huh.
creator of that company made bought a big wheel, a tiny little bike for his daughter, and she's quickly growing out of this stuff. And before you knew it, he had a garage full of bikes that don't fit his kid. And so he created a modular system that once the kid grows out of something, you change it into something else
Oh,
through a bunch
cool.
of parts. And I've got
Ah.
electric motors that came with it. So we're going to make electric vehicles.
You are going to make electric vehicles, electric
Yeah.
bikes.
Yeah. So
Cool.
the sneakers and the trees and all this other stuff, the lasers that we use, the giant Makerspace and the drone arena, but we also this year are become a bike factory. So
I love it. I love it. On
so
that
all of
note,
those skills are learned. So what excites me about the future
yeah,
companies
yeah,
are companies like this Infento, like these companies and the drones, and because the jobs available in the future for drone operators are just going to
yeah.
be
Hmm.
it's going to be incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's I went to this
incredible.
TGL. I don't know if you know this. It's an indoor golf league that Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy started.
No,
They
TGL.
it's called
Okay.
TGL. It's on ESPN starting. The new season starts like at the end of December.
Okay.
And the whole thing's operated with drones.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
it's an indoor golf league. So you got
that's,
aerial drones and drones on wheels driving around
that's
inside.
great.
It's all drones. I go to that and I just record. I could take pictures of Tiger and Rory, but I wind up
Yeah.
recording the drones because I want to show
Yeah.
my students like
What they're
somebody's
doing.
making money right now doing that.
We love the FPV stuff. We've got a
Right.
whole league. So, we've created this cool league, the Unified Scholastic Drone Racing Association. So we put the goggles on the kids and they're flying like precision, like upside down, like
Oh,
like
it's
stings.
awesome.
Amazing, right? They're learning like full on what's called acro mode. So I'm a drone, I have my FAA license, and I can fly a line of sight drone pretty well, right? I can get out here and take mine up, and I'm really a pretty good pilot, line of sight pilot. But you put me in those goggles and it's a game over, and I'm horrible. But some of these kids are
Oh,
aces and they're
yeah.
so good at it. And you watch the freestyle stuff that they do. And cinematography is going that way. A lot of the armed forces, that's another one.
Right.
But FPV is a pretty wild new frontier with drones. It's really cool. Kids have a lot of fun. Well, listen, speaking of a lot of fun, I've had a lot of fun. That flew by. That hour just flew by. We were talking for a while. Todd LaVogue, you are amazing. Your classroom is amazing. Where can people find you? So we're going to link to it in the show notes, but just give a shout to where we can follow you because people are going to want to follow you for sure.
I use X. I'm at Todd LaVogue on X.
At Todd LaVogue. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And same thing on Instagram and Blue Sky.
Yep, got it.
And
Okay.
then I have a website that I created called kidacademy.org.
Kidacademy.org.
Yeah. And it's
Okay.
a website. It's kind of like a visual. Somebody described it as a visual resume, but I kind of look at it. I've been doing this for a long time. So I kind of
Mm,
look at it because I've forgotten about some stuff. So it's a way for me to go back and look through Kid Academy and, oh, yeah, I remember when we did that. Or it gives me
yeah.
ideas like I should be doing that again, and
Yeah. Okay. So
so
some of your playbook might be up there.
oh, there's a lot of detail in there. There's
Excellent. All
a
right.
lot of yeah, as much writing as there are photos. There's a lot
Great.
of detail. It's pretty well laid out in terms of categories.
All
You
right.
can, I have a PBL project-based learning playbook on there. There's
Excellent.
a lot of good info and just
Okay, so
ideas.
we're going to go to kidacademy.org. We're going to follow Todd LaVogue, LaVogue, Todd LaVogue on X, Insta, Twitter, right? I mean, Twitter is X,
Yeah,
Blue Sky,
blue sky.
and
Yeah,
we'll do it all. And you're even on LinkedIn as well, right?
I have a LinkedIn. Yes.
Yeah, you do a LinkedIn as well. Well, we're going to find you. We're going to follow you. Todd, thank you very much for today. This was extremely fun for me. I know personally, the kid in me is wishing I had a classroom like that when I was growing up. Pretty awesome.
This is the class I always wanted to have as a kid.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us today. I appreciate it. I think people are going
Take
to get a
care.
lot out of this. Take care.